Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Well, midnight. Smoky and shadow. Those who love to tumble and oh my God, they get into fusses and fights, and you'd think they were literally pulling each other's skin off the way they'd fuss and fight, and they'd get down and then start licking out and cleaning on each other. They love playing smack. Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful day here in this particular area. See, we had the armadillos in here last night. All that digging right there. Wondered why the light came on. Let's see. Morning, folks. Feeling pretty good. Just got out the shower and nice and clean and refreshed, and the air feels kind of refreshed as this we're getting the back edge of Ida as it plunges up into Tennessee and Kentucky, and a bunch of my friends, all my friends that are over there in Tennessee and Kentucky, a bunch of you, you're all dealing with the rain, huge amounts of rain. So we're gonna have a little fun, a little chat, a little fun talk. I don't know how many more of these we'll be able to do even in the coded sense, because of things that are going on, and you know, y'all have probably sensed it. Where's he at? Oh, he's over there. I've separated them now because we're probably only days. Let's go see the mama. Come out of here. Separated these guys because she is so ready to pop. All right. And oh no, oh my boy, I gotta go. Let's go over here and take care of him while we're talking. They are so bad. All right, so quick observation number one. I'm coming. All right, look at his back. Look at that. Let's see how many of these we can get. 1, 3 at a time. Bam, 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 bam. Get off my head. Get off my... on my head. They don't sting like a... Go on. All right, which ones are alive? Get you. I've killed hundreds of these, and when you smack them... Yeah, I know, buddy. God, the blood on them. She's not too bad. Oh, she's got a couple on her. Let's go over here. Oh, and look, I'm all covered in mud now. Oh, all right, so there's a quick observation for you. Observation number one. And I think there's some reference to this kind of thing happening in a certain book at the back chapters. Just saying. You know, that there will be plagues and pestilence, and well, let's put it this way. This year there has been an extraordinarily high insect explosions. There's still a few of them. That's why he's getting in the mud. There's been an extraordinarily high insect explosion all over. Let's go down in the shade here, of different kinds. And this year, maybe I'm just noticing it differently. Boy, she's torn this up. We raked this all over, smoothed it out, had it looking good. Oh, she loves this spot. She wants to roll in the mud. And every insect explosion that we had, the Japanese beetles, the cabbage moths, the squash bugs, the cucumber beetles, it was like enhanced. And I have never in my life seen so many of these. And look, it's not that hard. Oop, they didn't get set. Let's see. It's not that hard. Come on. It's going to make a fool out of me. Give him a second. Oop. I'll get you. Not that hard to kill him. Let me get the fly swatter. But I've never in my life seen so many horseflies. So many of them. Oh my God, I have never. I mean, you saw that just now, all those on him. Let's see. Come here, girl. She doesn't mind it as much. He thinks I'm fussing at him when I do that. All right, get you guys. So there are major imbalances in our system in huge ways. Stick you right there. And you're seeing it all around us. And it's going to be hard navigating this over the next few years. I mean, it's going to get worse. Not that I want it to. Not that I want to even put it out there that it will. But, and there's another one just landed on her. God, look at her. She is so ready. She is so ready to pop. We're expecting her sometime within the next 7 days. And there's a lot of signs that you can see on her. She is just swinging low. Her mammaries are engorged. Woo, she's ready. I'm hoping for a whole lot of piglets. That's kind of why I was trying to clean this up, because I want her cleaned up and not too muddy for when they come. So there's my first observation. Insect issues. Where do we want to go? Let's go over here and sit in the shade. And I put up another video. It's a pretty fun one. Y'all check it out. We were down here doing some practicing, and needed to. A nice stump right here. How about we take a rest of our butt on it? Because I got a few thoughts, more than just a few, y'all want to hang around for. All right, Mr. Corkscrew. Some of you will get that. All right, so many observations that let's talk about. First off, or second or third off, wherever we're at in our list. I've been called up by Niche, and we talked about a year ago, and she says, I want to have you on. So next week, Monday, we're supposed to do this, and she's going to set it up live and create some kind of link. And if I can get that shared, I will. If not, I'll let you know where to go once we get it done. But we're gonna. She's got this new thing. Come on, horsefly, get away from me. She's got this new thing called Boots on the Ground, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that I'm going to share with you today. All right, so first thing first, y'all remember me talking, doing the theme. The theme. Today our theme is things that make you go, remember the theme I shared with you a few years back about poo chunks hitting the impeller blades, right? Well, here in the last few weeks, there have been mountain-sized poo chunks. And, you know, we're always watching things and paying attention for indicators of where we're at on things. So I'm going to ask you to recall about 18 months ago when it was late January, early February, somewhere in that time frame, where I told you guys, this is it. The trigger is being pulled. It's time to get to your GTFO. GTFO place. And I said, it's there. You need to get there, get it situated, make sure everything's in place, because I did not know how much time we have. And for all intents and purposes, I think the amount of time is pretty much up. You know, if you're not there, because from any point in time, you know, and I'm not saying that you can't stay focused and pull off some magic and get somewhere and get situated, but for all intents and purposes, the availability of supplies and time are pretty much up. And I'm starting to get, you know, as prepared as T and I are here in our own self-sufficiency, I am getting nervous about getting things, and I wish I had some more currency units so I could go get more stuff that I need. But, you know, I don't know how much clearer things can be. I'm in awe of where we're at now, and I know where we still have a long ways down. But, you know, on the roller coaster we've crested, we're going down, and I can see down, and I'm going, oh shit, oh shit. Girl, quit digging. Never did get a ring in her nose. I will at some point here. I like her. I don't like him. I'm going to replace him. I've already talked to a guy about an hour south of me. In about a month or so, I'm going to go get me a Berkshire boar. Berkshire, if those of you, if there's any of you with me from Montana and remember Mr. Magoo, the almost 900-pound boar, leave a comment in the comment section. I want to know, because I miss Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo was 4+ times his size. Well, we're going to do that. I like her. I'm not real happy with him because behavioral issues for one, and he's small. So a year and a half ago, I said that, right? Now, let's look at some events that are occurring at this moment. The things that make you go, All right, I want to start off with a good one that I was talking with my buddy Chip about, and that was this. We were making observations in our conversation about another individual in our community who puts up videos. Give his name out, Mr. Chris Dwayne. I had a lot of respect, still have a lot of respect for the guy. He was did some very, very good work. He was very powerful in a lot of his messages. But one of the things he did in his work was note the emotional energies that would be around during the certain parts of change. And all of us have always kind of taken him as a very well-thought man, a guy who had his stuff together, a guy who did not allow emotion to get into him. But here at the very end of the cycle, and we got a couple of big poo chunks that we're going to talk about still coming. Hold on, don't leave yet. The last few videos, or for the last few months, maybe as many as 5-6 videos that I've seen, he explodes in them. I mean, there is a tremendous amount of anger coming out of him and frustration because, all he's put his energy into is the silver. And, even when I did my interview with him, he says, well, Aaron, you're way ahead of me, in the self-sufficiency and the homestead and all that. And that was back in 2015. And I said, well, you're going to get out and you can get yourself situated. Well, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right. Well, he's in Philly or Philadelphia, I think. He's in Pennsylvania. So this is an indicator. And like I said, nothing ill is meant by this. I appreciate the guy in a huge way. He taught me a lot about from his perspective, and I agree with him almost wholeheartedly on everything. However, the observation is he is now extraordinarily frustrated and mad because things have not broken yet, and he's sitting on a huge, gigantous pile of... I know he's got to have a lot of silver, and it's still sitting at 24 on the spot. That's a big indicator. Now let's talk about a couple other big indicators of events and things that are occurring. Some of you will have been aware of this. I'm not sure if all of you will have been aware of this, but a week ago Monday was a big day, as denoted by our analyst of time, and everybody's got their issues with everybody, but I still love all these people who are really trying to help. Even Chris Dwayne, I know he's trying to help. I love him. I know he's got a good heart, and we're all going in the same place. But the stresses are here, and the stresses on the system are so big now that we are literally waiting. I think we're days away from a big event, mind-blowing, earth-shattering type event. So a week ago, Monday, on the 24th, there was an event that occurred that came out in a lot. Most of you probably heard this. Some of you may not have. That the House of Saud signed a military agreement with Russia. And, you know, I could go on and on about the questions that need to be asked. So, well, what kind of agreement? Because it wasn't exactly explicit about what was going on in the agreement. And, okay, well, military, well, didn't we kind of have that in this thing called the petrodollar? Wasn't that our thing? I'm just asking a question. And if that's not, and we're, we're out of that picture, what does that do to the petrodollar? I'm just saying something big. A lot of people thinking a big event in the petrodollar. Did you get that root? Did you get that root? They love pulling on them roots. Oh, big girl. I want to get her to a hose. Wash her off. So the petrodollar. So when I was talking with my buddy Barry, he asked me, he says, Aaron, is, you know, what's the significance? I guess he was kind of asking. I don't remember his exact words, but straight to the point. You remember, and many of you remember, on Mike Maloney's nails in the coffin of the dollar that he started, you know, many years ago. You know, that this event was a nail in the coffin, and this event was a nail in the coffin, and then he started getting more and more nails. So what I explained to him is, no, the box of nails is empty. What this was the backhoe dumping the bucket load of dirt onto the coffin as the coffin sits in the hole. Basically, it's covered, it's buried, we're covering it up, it's done, it's over with. And then I caught something somewhere, and I may misquote which country it is, but it's not only the Sauds, it was either Yemen or one of those other little Middle Eastern countries right there next to Saudi that also signed an agreement with Russia for military, you name it, issues. So that's big. China came out, and a huge article. China came out and, oh my God, basically said, anybody coming through our waters better notify us of your situation. They and the U.S. goes through there. That's a huge statement. Our military shipments go through that. Huge amounts of commercial traffic go through those waters. The South China Sea stuff. Huge. This is huge. When that country says, you know what, we don't see America as an issue anymore. We're claiming this. There's talk about the potential for China to just say, you know what, we're going to take Taiwan back. And if they do, you know, there's 60% of the chips, the semiconductors are made in that country. What is that going to do to our technology here in this country? Just asking a question. It's going to be huge. Where's that horsefly? Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can even remember all these things. There are so many big mountain-sized chunks of poo that are hitting the fan blades now. Of course, you know, one of the big ones for a lot of you was the Ida. You know, now I'm getting the better side of this. I mean, it is gorgeous out here. We got a thunderstorm before it, so we got 1 inch and 1/10 of rain. That's why it's so muddy there, because that was bone dry. We got 1 inch and 1/10 of rain and thunderstorm the night before, which is good because we needed it because it was dry. But the storm itself actually took a harder turn to the right, and it's moved further into Tennessee and Kentucky and up towards West Virginia. Oh, BP, he had a fun journey trying to take care of his place. That was, you know, glad he made it back. I don't know, he hasn't reported on his damage, but yeah, lots of events. And then so with the Ida, one of the big stories that was on Zero Hedge this morning was the huge amount of power outages and the absolute demand for generators and the inability to find them, get them. That's incredible. with our supply chains already being a problem. And speaking of supply chains, something I hadn't heard about was and was shared with me by Lynn Schmaltz. Lynn, thank you for continuing to do the best that you can up there in Montana. I know you're prepared, and well, she sent me this article on a trucker strike that's taking place in a day or two. Okay, huge. Why would you do this? And she was reading it on her video, and I was listening to a minute of it. And it's, FedEx, which is not even a union, and if you're not a union, why would you go on strike? But no, this is corporate driven. You got to remember, this is all large, high dollar corporation driven events, because you got all the minions that have been put in power because of their willingness to do what they're told to do by the few that we don't hear about, that we all know about, and that those individuals are they're shutting down their systems. They're shutting down they're shutting it all down. It's all getting shut down, and if you can't survive on your own, we're just in the beginning phases. This is going to take a whole lot longer to play through. So why would FedEx, which is a non-union company, say, oh, well, we're just going to join it out of solidarity or whatever to this trucker strike? And then there's, of course, there's also the articles about the container shipping issues all around the world and the prices for that. Was another article about the traffic jam in the ports, that they're stacking up. And these are, a death by not just 100 or 1,000 cuts. This is a death by, full-on sword slashes. These are big cuts. Big cuts. And then back to the currency issue. I was sent a video by another friend of mine up there in Illinois, and she says, Aaron, check this out. What do you think? What do you think? For all of those, and Chris, if you're listening, Chris Dwayne, if you're listening, you may want to pay attention to this, because this is big. There was a video up on Kinesis Money, the YouTube channel, and I haven't been subscribed to them. Maybe I should have to catch this, but it was sent to me by one of my other watchers, and she's like, well, Aaron, what is this? What this is huge. It's all over. It's done with. This is going to happen. So, what is it? Well, you all know our friend Andrew Maguire. I love his character, and I love the way he presents things. And well, in this video, he had some very big poo chunk, very big poo chunk that hit the fan blades, and directly in the comments, for all of us who've been going, the Crimex and da 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 da, why can't any of it be truly policed and regulated, or all the crime? All right, so you all go watch his video, but essentially this: one of the refiners that sells to the Crimex took advantage of that massive spike down a few days back when we plunged all the way down, and we actually went below 23 for a little bit, right at the bottom of that, at the actual timing. They actually went into the COMEX and bought out all the metal that the COMEX says it has. So, I'm not sure how this is going to actually affect things, other than, it's probably the bucket load of dirt being dumped on the corruption end of it somehow, and putting it in its grave. We haven't seen the flowers come from the burial. The flowers from the burial, you see those beautiful flowers after everything's been buried, and and then you're supposed to feel better. Well, that will come here shortly, I think. This is why I'm thinking that, in the next 2 weeks, whatever these events are that are going to occur, that are going to make everything else pale in comparison, are going to be huge. So, a refiner, oh, the mud, it feels so good. Oh, that feels so good. She's about ready to pop. So ready to pop. The refiners bought all the available metal that was supposedly in the COMEX. So you can't even go to the COMEX and buy a 1,000-ounce bar, because supposedly it's all been bought. Now, how does that actually play out? We know the criminality is beyond our ability to even wrap our own heads around. How does it play out? I don't know, other than my friend was thinking that the COMEX itself was bought out and that it was just going to get shut down. And I don't think that's the case. What I think is, this was the last grab of metal because the refiners bought it back. We sold it to you, now we bought it back. You mashed the price down, so we scooped it up and we bought it back, and now we can handle our clients. Screw you and your clients. Let's see how that plays out. But it's big. It's big, my friends. Oh my goodness. And on top of that, we see all these massive political things that are going on. I don't even want to get into what stupidity actually happened in Afghanistan. To be honest, I was also asked a question on that. God, I can't remember who I was talking to. I've had a lot of phone calls with a lot of you. I mean, I'll be trying to get stuff done up here, and it's like every time I turn around, the phone was ringing. And this is not a complaint about it for those of you who I've talked about. I love talking to you. Y'all know that. All I'm saying is we've talked about a lot of things, because a lot of you are going, "Hey, Erin, did you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Hey, Erin, did you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so I was asked a question about the Afghan situation, because there's a lot of things being said. And I always want to remind you of one thing, and I've said this, this is a problem. As things get tense, we forget our lessons. We forget to think because the emotion gets high. And I will restate this so that all of you can maybe back up a step and take a deep breath on some of these issues, because I know that has been a big one for a few people like Patriot Nurse. Oh man, it's got her up. And I can throw a few others in there that Roy Potter has had a big issue with the events going down in Afghanistan. And now, mind you, these are big issues, and I don't want to make light of them. But what I do want to do is say a couple aspects on this. One, everything that every human does, and I'm going to be clear about this again so everybody gets it. Everything that every human does is done to elicit a specific response for the person that they're, everything that's done is done with the intent to get a response that they want. We all will want to manipulate others to come to our side of thinking, because it is comfort for us in knowing that everybody thinks the same way we do. It's the nature of humanity. So with that basic understanding, and all of you being fully aware and clear on how much propaganda there is, what was the purpose in doing this? There is very calculated moves going on here. As Mr. Hunter likes to say, it's too stupid to be stupid. Yes, they're trying to make the current pretendency look inept as can be. It's still a show. So why do that? Why would you create such a problem? Why would you put a whole bunch of people that you haven't vetted on planes and send them all over the world and here to America? Why would you leave unbelievable amounts of equipment and brand new equipment just sitting there to be supposedly taken over by somebody who's an enemy. It was done for reasons, my friend, and just a quick feeling on that, okay? You know, whether it's by accident or by design, I don't want to argue that, and please don't do that in the comments. Just take this away. In the last chapters of that book that we refer to all the time, there are discussions about certain wars, and those big wars they're not discussed about over here on this continent. They're discussed over in that, the Gog and Magog. I go down a whole list of things that take place over in those lands, right? So, is it a possibility that there was an intent to leave that so that a future theater battle could occur to meet with certain predetermined events as written about a long time ago? Is that a possibility? Is that the design? Because let's put it this way, even our upper military leaders, those in Pentagon, aren't that stupid to leave all our assets like that. Anybody who had any decent sense would have said, okay, well, let's start quietly getting our equipment out. Let's bring our equipment home. We'll bring the people home. We'll relocate. They'd have done this with a lot more thought in mind. Okay, so all of those that are going, okay, that was horrible. It was the pretendency folks there. They really blew it. That wasn't a blown decision. That wasn't a accident. Everything there is done on purpose. So something big is going to happen, and as far as those assets are concerned that were left remaining over there, they're going to get used at some time in the future in some way, for some purpose. What you doing there, buddy? Let's go back over here. How you doing, girl? How you doing, big girl? Oh my goodness. Oh my. I feel your pain. Yes, I do. I feel your pain. Sure. Oh. And you got a couple on you. Let's see if I can get around over here. Maybe. Once they get in there. Got one of them. Come over here. I can't get that if you're over there. Oh well. Alright, so let's do a quick summarization. The events that are occurring around us, smacked her. The events that are occurring around us are and were expected from a lot of us 10 years ago. The fact that they did not occur, that's some good dewy grass. The fact that they did not occur until here just recently was a blessing for all of us, all of us who had foresight. But even still, there's some funny looking peppers. I think them things are crossed. What were they supposed to be? Messiah? Oh, hey buddy. Hey buddy. They're kind of pointy, kind of round. Kind of like they were a green pepper that was crossed with maybe one of those. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. Oh, he was a blast yesterday when we were practicing. Alright folks. I got a couple videos to put up for you. Yeah, what, buddy? What? Oh, find love. Love of my buddy. Yeah. Alright, you know, have a good heart. You know, it's all gonna happen. It was pretty much preordained to happen, just because of the nature of human beings. Got the AC cranking. Rock on. Well, we got good sun on the panels. It was pretty much, I shouldn't say ordained, but maybe that's a good word, maybe that's not. But it was pretty much set to happen because of the nature of human beings, nature of us. And we needed to learn this, and we're going to learn this lesson hard. Bird's been molting. And we need to learn love, because that's when it comes right down to it. That it's about the choosing that hard enough to make difficult decisions. And many videos ago, years ago, I would do some pretty hard assessments in my videos. I'm gonna walk over here in the shade again because it's kind of warm in the sun. I would do some pretty hard assessments. I should come back out. In as much as I was pointing the finger of why this was all happening to our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents for getting lazy. In monitoring our country, our politics, you know, seeing the lies of the politicians, you know, 100 years ago, seeing the lies of the politicians, even back in the 50s and 60s, we knew there were problems. And when you have an event like JFK, and because of some of the things we knew he was doing and attempting to do, and then we see what happened. Not digging into that, just buying the narrative. And that's the biggest problem we have today, is there's too many people that just buy the narrative. And you know, you see that going on with the sticky situation that's occurred for a lot of people in their upper shoulders. That sticky situation, you know, people have been buying the narrative. They stopped questioning things. So regardless of everything that I say, always question everything. Question. You know, it's called critical thinking, so that you can be sure of what's going on. You know, I did that, and they shut me up because of it. You remember? I questioned it. I said, for all of you alternative media leaders, I said, why is it we've got this data information coming in and you're talking like it's the mainstream narrative? What you got there? I think I got a grasshopper. Mainstream narrative. Question it. Question everything. Because only if you do will you really truly ever be willing to accept the truth. Anyway, long chat. This has gone on quite a bit. I wanted to check in with all you folks. You know, I love to read your comments and thoughts. Again, where we stand, you know, the further we get into some of the actions by the powers that want to be in our system, and the government, and you know, you cannot forget what we, like this thing right here, what we hold in our hands. That technology is not in beneficial hands. So as things continue, due to the nature of where we're going, my focus may get tighter and tighter and tighter. One of the things I've noticed is a lot of people who are in similar positions to me that have been speaking out are speaking out less and less, and we are quietly just getting into our own worlds, and that may happen. I got to pay attention to the things that are going on, especially when it comes to the technology aspect of how it's being used, and some of the bills that are put out, and some of the things that are happening by our. Well, you understand where I'm going with that. Point is this: it may be necessary to go, and I still think it is at some point in time. It's going to be necessary to essentially either turn everything off and stick it in the Faraday cage, batteries removed, so that maybe we can use it later, or just, utterly destroy it. And that's going to be a hard thing for a lot of people to do. But I still see it coming. Maybe not now, but soon, a year or two. Let's see how this fall and next spring go as to what actually occurs in this world. He's a jumpy little thing. He's spazzo from time to time. Anyway, that's probably enough. I love you guys. My heart goes out to all of those who are dealing with not being prepared, and events happening around them, and all of those down in Louisiana and Mississippi and all that have suffered the issues. It's there are reasons, logical reasons why certain areas of the country are having people called to them, to those areas, for what's going down. There's a big reason for that. It's because they're the least susceptible. They are the best mindseted areas. Nature creates certain things for a reason. You have to kind of understand that. Oops. Feeding the bad tomatoes to the chickens. Alright, I guess I'll say goodbye, and love y'all. Check you later. Take care, and as soon as she pops, I've had a lot of people say, we want to see, so I'm going to put up a video on her. If we can catch it, if it doesn't happen at night, when we're asleep and we can catch it, we'll do a video on it, and then we'll probably just do that to the email group. I haven't sent much out on the email because everything's been pretty much public, but we'll do that probably on Patreon, and because the last time I put a video up of a sow giving birth, YouTube gave me a strike and took the video down and whatnot. So anyway, y'all be blessed, and keep your focus on your picture and get it done, because I don't know how much time we got left. Take care. Bye bye.